All right, the old playbook of just giving your software away for free, yeah, it's completely dead. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into what is arguably the biggest debate in the software industry right now. Look, if you've been watching the data this year, you already know the math has radically shifted. We're going to unpack exactly why that is, what the elite companies are doing instead, and how you can actually use these exact frameworks to skyrocket your own conversion rates. Let's get right into it.
So here's the big question. Is your freemium model secretly killing your growth? I mean, for the last 10 years, freemium was basically the holy grail for product-led growth, right? You get them in the door for free, let them click around, and eventually, boom, they pull out a credit card. Well, not anymore. The latest market data is telling us a completely different story. For a lot of you watching, your current pricing model actually isn't an acquisition engine at all. It's essentially a massive anchor holding you back from scaling efficiently.
And when I say anchor, I mean there is a staggering 10x gap between top converting products and the bottom performers. 10 times! That means the absolute best companies out there are converting 10 times as many users into paying customers compared to the laggards. This comes straight from the 2026 ChartMogul Conversion Report, which looked at over 4,200 SaaS products. This massive divide is literally separating the winners from the losers right now. So the obvious mystery we need to solve today is, what on earth are those top-tier companies doing differently with their funnels?
Okay, let's dive into this, because that 10x gap completely shatters a core industry belief right out of the gate. Free trial versus freemium, it's simply the wrong debate. For years, product teams have endlessly argued over this. Do we offer a 14-day free trial or a permanently free tier with some features locked? But the data actually shows that credit card trials convert 5 times higher, while ungated freemium drives the most overall adoption. You see the dilemma? You want the sheer volume of freemium, but you desperately need the conversion power of a trial. And that brings us to the actual solution taking over the market.
Just so we're all on the same page, let's quickly look at the mechanics here. On one side, you have traditional freemium. A user gets access to a basic version of your product forever. But the really good stuff, the powerful features, they're locked behind a paywall. On the flip side, we have the reverse trial. Now, with the reverse trial, the moment a user signs up, you give them the keys to the castle. Every single premium feature is completely unlocked temporarily, usually for 14 or 30 days. And here's the kicker. After that period, if they don't buy, you don't kick them out. You just gracefully downgrade them to that basic free tier. It gives them a taste of the premium life exactly when their intent is highest.
Now, what's really interesting about this data is just how undeniable the math is. The median conversion rate from free to paid for traditional freemium is just 2.4%. But reverse trials, they jump to a massive 7.4%. And if you look at the top decile, like the absolute best of the best, freemium peaks at 7.8%, while reverse trials hit an incredible 17.2%. You are literally tripling your baseline conversion rate by creating immediate urgency, all while still capturing that massive top of funnel volume.
So why is that 2.4% so dangerous? Well, because traditional freemium basically creates a massive conversion trap. Sure, the barrier to entry is 0, which feels great, but mathematically, you end up hauling this heavy wagon where 97% of your users are just enjoying the ride and never paying you a dime. Now, back in the old days of traditional software, when gross margins were sitting comfortably above 80%, yeah, maybe you could afford to carry those free riders, but the world has changed drastically.
And in the 2026 AI era, that old math literally burns your servers down. Think about it. Every single time a free user interacts with your generative AI or runs an agentic workflow, it costs you compute power. Each token has a cost. Supporting a massive base of completely free users in an AI-driven product, that is going to burn through your infrastructure budget so fast it'll make your head spin. You simply cannot afford a model anymore where 97% of your users are draining expensive AI compute for absolutely nothing.
And, it gets even more complicated, because the downside of being easy to buy is, well, being easy to cancel. With self-serve AI products, we're seeing this massive shift in user behavior. Users are treating these tools like rapid, weekend experiments rather than long-term business investments. They sign up, they immediately test the absolute limits of the AI, and if they don't see undeniable value right then and there, they bounce. This creates highly compressed churn windows where your product's value is tested incredibly fast. If you don't capture their commitment early, they are gone for good.
So how are the best companies fixing this? They're upgrading to product-led sales, or PLS. And to be clear, this isn't about abandoning your product-led motion, it's an upgrade. PLS is this beautiful strategic blend of bottom-up self-serve adoption with really targeted human outreach. Instead of just sitting back and crossing your fingers that users will upgrade on their own, you actively use real-time product usage data to spot high-intent accounts. You find the hand raisers, and you have your sales team intervene at the exact right moment to close those enterprise deals.
So, the crucial point is, this targeted intervention really works. Check out this data point. 61%. According to OpenView's benchmark data, companies that actively track product-qualified leads, or PQLs, are 61% more likely to achieve fast, breakout growth compared to the ones that don't. And just a reminder, a PQL isn't some random person who downloaded a PDF or filled out a basic web form. No, a PQL is a user who has actually experienced the core value of your product in real time. When you track these users and engage them, your sales efficiency absolutely skyrockets.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why that happens. Look at this pipeline transformation. Your traditional marketing qualified leads, or MQLs, they're often lagging behind with a pretty measly 1.5% conversion rate to pipeline. But product qualified leads, they are converting at an astounding 20 to 30%. When you start tracking real activation milestones, like a user getting to that first aha moment within the first 14 days of a reverse trial instead of just counting email signups, it completely and totally changes the game for your growth rate.
Of course, to make this entire growth engine actually work alongside those crazy expensive AI compute costs we talked about, you have to monetize correctly. And that's where hybrid pricing comes in. This model combines a fixed, recurring platform fee with metered usage overages or credit-based tokens. Honestly, it's the ultimate best of both worlds approach. That subscription fee gives your finance team a stable, predictable revenue floor, while the usage component captures all that natural expansion upside as your customers scale up and use more resources.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a cohesive, actionable strategy. Here is your 2026 hybrid growth playbook. First, implement a reverse trial. Give them all the premium features up front so they see the full value immediately and then gracefully downgrade them if they don't buy. Second, meticulously track your product qualified leads based on tight 14-day activation milestones. Third, shift to hybrid pricing to protect those margins while capturing the upside. And finally, deploy a sales assist team to swoop in on those PQLs for enterprise expansion. This is your proven framework right here to lower acquisition costs and seriously boost your recurring revenue.
Which brings us to our final, absolutely critical question for you to ponder. I want you to literally pull up your pricing page right after this explainer and ask yourself, are you subsidizing free users or are you actually building a sustainable growth engine? Look, the market has completely shifted and frankly, the free ride is over. It's time to audit your models, kill the permanent free ride if it's dragging your metrics down, and start engineering your pricing for true, profitable growth. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Now go get out there and start optimizing your strategy.